During the break, grab a drink and also sign up for our mailing list. It's back there on the table by the door. We'll send you letters and love notes and postcards and strange packages. All right, our last storyteller of the first half will be the new storyteller to the stage, Mr. Bob Nickles. Please take
Hey, how's everybody doing? Nice Bob. You're doing great. So, I was thinking about what story to tell tonight. I knew the theme, and a lot of my favorite people are also telling stories tonight, and I knew it was just kind of like any story that I would come up with probably going to be topped. So I thought I'm just going to make this personal and make it something that's really meaningful to me. You know, I actually have a lot of stories about humiliation, feeling embarrassed, feeling mortified, which I think really means you're so embarrassed that you wish you were dead. Like that's a little weird word there. But I have a lot of stories from my adult life that I don't really remember very much from childhood. You know, if you're like me, you don't like just block a lot of that stuff out. I mean, I remember like waking up when I was like 17. I mean, like waking up on the bus on the way to school and being like for the first time like, oh, I know what classes I have today. I realize what I'm wearing, and I was just kind of like coming out of a fog of adolescence, basically. So, you know, I was trying to think maybe I could think of a story that would help like me understand where I first learned the word mortified, or where I first really understood. So, I was trying to think, and there are a few things I do remember from my childhood, like family crises. If there's a really big family crisis, I pretty much remember that. I think that's kind of universal. We all have those, hopefully. And another thing that is just, for whatever reason, maybe it's just unique to me, but I remember a lot of things have to do with my teeth. It's kind of an odd thing, but if you are like me, you think about, do I have to do my teeth? You know, you think like really bad thoughts about yourself because you never have flossed, but people say you really supposed to floss. The reason I'm kind of confident about maybe somebody else out there is so aware of their teeth is me, because as Americans we spend a lot of money, a lot of attention and time on our teeth. I'm not going to give you figures. I don't want to make you feel bad, but like we blow the rest of the world out of the water with like how much we spend on, you know, oral hygiene and so forth. And so, you know, I just remember being fascinated with dentists when I was growing up. I actually lost most of my teeth, like, really close together. So for a while, I was a really cool kid in school, like kindergarten, because I didn't have many teeth. And that didn't last long. I never really achieved that. Like, I was really cool for like 4 months, and then it went away. But one of the after effects of that is that it was pretty clear that I was going to need braces later. And I was stoked because I had some siblings who had friends, I had friends with siblings who were older who had braces, and they were really cool. And maybe that's my ticket to coolness, I'll get braces. I think that's probably why they're cool. There's people on TV that were like high schoolers on TV who had braces. So I was really excited about that, and lo and behold, I got braces. My parents were like, this is a weird kid, like, he loves going to the dentist, he loves, like, his braces. Braces turned out not to be that much fun, they were really painful. I had braces through the first year of middle school. So where I grew up was in West Virginia, in Capital, so really nice part of West Virginia. Charleston, and we had 7th, 8th, and 9th grades together in high school. So 7th grade I had braces all through, and then the really great thing is I got my braces off like a month into the next school year, 8th grade. And that was really cool because the first impression everyone has of everyone else, like they're like, oh, nothing's different about Bob, he still got braces, he grew a lot over the summer, but that's fine. And then after like a month, and everybody's kind of used to how everybody looks, I get my cough. Makes a big impact, my teeth are really shiny. I just thought that was really cool, but I had to wear a retainer. And so, I mentioned I was kind of in a fog growing up, just not really aware of anything was happening unless it was a crisis, basically, or if it had to do with my teeth. But that actually didn't apply to my retainer. I lost my retainer like 3 times in the first month and a half. And so it was like, my parents were upset. They didn't have. The retainers are kind of expensive, it turns out. And my parents, I remember them sitting me down and looking me in the eyes and like, you are not allowed to lose a retainer again. Okay, well, what's gonna happen? Because I feel like this is in the cards for me. It's only been a month and a half. And they didn't really have an answer, but they just said, just do not do it. And so, we had unseasonably warm fall, and so, we're still, I was kind of in this carefree summer place, wearing shorts to school. I remember, this one day we had a pep rally, and it's kind of a weird day, weird schedule, kind of throws me off sometimes. And I'm on the bus on the way home, and suddenly, all my muscles go rigid, and my eyes open wide, because I'm like, I don't think I have my retainer. So I'm looking through my bag, and look like it's not in my mouth. I mean, it's not, I'm not coming up with anything. So I go home, I'm like, hey. I don't have a retainer. You're like, do you have it? And she's like, I'm calling father. So I don't remember really what happened, except, suddenly Dad's there, and we're, driving in the van, just Dad and myself, silent. Kids in your house. I'm like, Dad, where are we going? He's like, we're going to school. Okay, what are we doing? I need a new retainer. That's what I think is happening here, but two retainers there. You're going to retrace your steps, and you're going to find that descriptive word retainer. And I'm like, oh gosh. Okay, well look, Dad, we don't have to do this. We can skip. I think I know what happened. I remember being at lunch. I took it out. I think I just threw it away. My stuff. I'm really sorry. We had pizza day. All this stuff we were using to eat the pizza was disposable. So I just chucked it. I think that's what happened. He's like, okay. I'm like, well, we're not turning around, I don't know. So we walk in the cafeteria where the football team is having this booster cooked spaghetti dinner, and I wasn't on the football team. I didn't hear about them a lot, ever. I remember Sean Hitchman was quarterback, and he, you're not. So he was a guy that I went to elementary school with. I would help him on his spelling test. We were cool back then, but this was different ball game, literally. And the whole football team's there. They're like, we don't know you. You're in the band. You're the really tall, skinny guy. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just here to go through the trash, basically, for my retainer. And the band was around, so all staring at us, and my dad with his arms crossed. He's directing my motions with his eyes. And okay, I need to go through your trash. And they're like, honey, there's nothing. These trash cans are empty. They just came to us empty. We just got here. We're cooking spaghetti for the football team. Sorry. And I was like, okay. My dad's dumpster. And I'm like, oh gosh. So I'm not gonna tell you the next blow by blow, except I'll give you some keywords heat. It was really hot. Rotting fruit, burnt spaghetti, because it turned out they were on their second batch of spaghetti. Football boosters were not Italian. It just didn't work. So I'm opening these bags. Oh, and yellow jackets, another keyword. I'm beyond count, just innumerable boards. They're all the yellow jackets in West Virginia are in that dumpster. And I'm I just remember waffling between, I hope I get stung so many times. I hope I die. I would just do it. And then between that and, so I'm back bored, and my dad's staring me down, and I'm ripping open these bags and stuff. How am I ever gonna find a retainer? And the assistant principal of the school is a guy that we kind of knew through the community, and he's there. He's talking to my dad, and they're having some kind of conversation, and I'm lost track of time, just going through this trash in this dumpster, and I'm thinking I am so embarrassed. And this, the whole football team, I lost my retainer. My dad is a freak, making me go through the trash. And now this principal probably thinks I'm a freak too because I'm losing my retainer, and my dad's like, let's go. Oh, I didn't find it. He's like, let's just go. So I'm like, can I go to the bathroom and wash my hands? Because I'm really gross. He's like, no, we'll just, okay, yeah, wash your hands. Get in the car, let's go. And so we're driving home, and it's silent. My dad's not a man of many words, but he said, yeah, that was really embarrassing. And I realized, oh, he was really all right, that's really cool. But I'm yeah, I was embarrassed too, And then it's just a quiet drive home. We get home, and my mom's freaking out. She's like, did you buy the retainer? Oh my gosh, I'm trying to do this. And my dad's it's cool. And I realized okay, we had a moment. My dad, this awful dad, making me go through the trash. He's I'm embarrassed. You're embarrassed. And we just kind of had this nice car ride home. And Mom didn't understand it. She had to go deal with her freak out some other way. But Dad and I were cool after that. We got a retainer. I didn't hear much about it later. I didn't lose a retainer again. But that's how I learned what embarrassment meant. And it wasn't like the end of my life. It was just like mortification happens. Other people feel it too. It was cool. So that's my story.